If you're saying Christopher
There
Columbus
are
was looking,
3 Indias. There are 3 Indias. You don't even know history, vocab. There's 3 Indias. You are stupid, man.
Well, first of all, you know, there's 2 ways we can take this. They base this off of, like you said, Mormons, and then also off of the Apocrypha, which deals with Ezra, 2nd Ezra 13 and 40. They try to say that they went off to a land called Azar or something like that. They say that that is basically America or something like that. And so they use that. And they say they went to a far country where never man went, or whatever the case may be. This was the first diaspora, or even when they came back to the land. When they was told that they can come back, but the scriptures don't teach that, because the Cushan Jews, which they talk about, was one of the people who was in the first diaspora that went to India, and then also. When you look at that, what happened in America with
blah,
the native,
blah, 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 blah.
He want to be disrespectful. At least you can be respectful, brother. That's at least you can do that. But,
did you want to say something or make a point, Alawaf?
Yeah, I'm just listen. This is my point. This is my point. Vocab. You sitting there and you saying this and that and this and that and that, and what is true and what is not. But then you ain't even posted no proof to nothing you said. You just talking and running your mouth. Show the proof. I got the proof right here. And you sit here and you keep running your mouth everywhere I see you. Oh, fucking lying. You running your fucking mouth and you fucking lying.
Did you hear that, Vocab?
Where's your proof? Show the proof. Y'all just sitting here speaking your opinions and feelings, and ain't nan one of y'all show shit to back it up.
You got some proof, brother? Where's your proof at?
What did you show? You just sitting there speaking your feelings, speaking your opinions all night long. Like, well, this is what it is. This is what it is. And then there's one guy, and then it's all speculation. And then what? You sit here, you speculation or whatnot. How does a motherfucker who lived amongst these Indians for 40 years not know what the fuck he talking about?
Well, let me ask you a question, brother. Where's your proof at? Where can you present something right now? You got some information?
You can share your screen if you want.
Also, the Sephardics that came over here, which was, and also the many of Jews that came over here. There was a lot of black Jews that came over here during that time too, which were numerous and wealthy in Africa, by the way. When they came over here, they had Negro slaves. They wasn't slaves themselves. And there's a possibility that a lot of the Native Americans that you see around, if you say they spoke Hebrew or whatever, Israelites was the only one who spoke Hebrew. That's another thing. The second thing is the colonists that came over here, the Sephardic, and also that had Negroes with them, but were Negro Jews that was converts. These converts also spoke Hebrew, and they was teaching Native Americans is just as well as other people that was just as well as mostly also the slaves who they had up under them, and that could be attested to by colonists. There was Sephardic Jews that also went to India, by the way, to sail the coast, and went other areas. So I need you to show some proof, brother, because just because you say you might see 10 commandments or whatever you say it might be, the colonists that came over here was Jews. A lot of them was Jews, and they had slaves. I want to say about 10%, probably to 15% was slave owners of Jews.
Yeah.
You got some proof, brother, because you walking around. I ain't really heard you present anything.
Alahaf, do you want me to link something up for you?
Is he talking or he just walking around? Or what is he doing?
I'm looking for something.
Okay.
You got a bookshelf or something?
Yeah, he's looking for a book or something.
Oh no. First and foremost, y'all sit there and y'all talk that shit, talking about how the Native Americans this. Y'all sit there and y'all talk about how Native Americans this, Native Americans that. The people that y'all call Native Americans ain't even the original people of this land.
Why they got there's a book out there. You know, there's a book out there that talks about African Americans.
He found the book. Africans and Native Americans. Can you hold up to the camera a little more so we could maybe I could pull it up on Google or screen share it for people?
All right. So what does that book prove? Do you believe?
What it proves is y'all sit there and y'all talking that shit like we was brought over here in slavery and shit. Man, so-called Negroes been in America since the beginning of time. You don't even know what y'all talking about.
Okay. Let's say they have been in America since the beginning of time. Hold on.
Here.
Let's say they've been in America since. Well, no, I just see you're highlighting, but you're moving it around.
You see this?
You have to read it to us because we can't see it. You got your camera vertical instead of horizontal.
Okay, listen. Okay, man, shut up and let me read it. In any case,
I've heard that about 4 times. If you could continue on, that'd be fantastic.
At least 3,000 Americans are known to have been shipped to Europe between 1493 and 1501, with the likely total being possibly double that. Most were sent to the Seville area, where they seem to show up in the slave markets as Negroes. As Negroes.
Hey, what does that have to do with anything? What does that prove?
So what I'm trying to tell you is y'all sitting here talking about how Native Americans don't claim to be Israelites because the Native Americans ain't even the fucking natives of this land. They're not the original people, asshole.
Well, hold on. You just read about somebody being taken from where and been taken to where?
Negroes in 1453 were taken from America to Spain.
Okay, so when
what?
What does that prove?
Listen, help it. What does folks leaving America and going to Spain have to do with the fact you're saying Native Americans aren't the original people to this land?
And why are you so angry, bro?
Hey, bro, could you explain what you just read has to do with what you presented?
Okay. Y'all was just sitting here a minute ago talking about how the Indians don't claim to be Israelites. They're not the fucking Indians.
Okay, who are they then?
What you mean? Those motherfuckers, those people that y'all call Indians didn't get here until the goddamn 13th century.
How do you know that?
They didn't. What you mean? They didn't come to America until Genghis Khan invaded America.
Did you say Genghis Khan invaded America?
Until Genghis Khan invaded America.
Bro, the only time Genghis Khan was in America was in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, bro.
You a damn liar. Because did explain why Christopher Columbus was coming. Explain why Christopher Columbus was coming to America looking for an Israelite king.
Yeah, you're talking about Presser John. Are you talking about Presser John?
Booyah. And don't tell me he didn't exist because I got the picture of him.
I like hold on. So Columbus, along with a lot of Europeans, thought there was a man named Presser John who had a fantastic kingdom. Can you tell me where did they think that kingdom was going to be, though? Where? Not the United States, because they weren't looking for the United States.
You look for India, dude.
There's 3 Indias. There's 3 Indias.
But you're missing the point. If you're saying Christopher Columbus
is looking... There are 3 Indias. You don't even know history, vocab. There's 3 Indias. You are stupid, man.
Alawaf, if you're saying that Christopher Columbus is looking for...
Vocab, you are a fucking liar. All of the early explorers, when they came here, they said they ran into Negroes. And all of those Negroes were speaking fucking Hebrew from...
What's happening? Is your aunt telling you to watch your mouth or what?
Speaking fucking Hebrew.
Okay. So check this out. Who was saying they were speaking Hebrew?
No, that was your wife.
Can you answer any questions? Who was speaking Hebrew? Who said they were speaking Hebrew?
The Native Americans, I think.
Yeah, but who Alawaf? Who said they were speaking Hebrew?
1 second.
Why not? He's been so nice to us. We will. Don't mind having patience for him.
So, yeah.
I actually like this guy. I think he's funny. Probably not going to do good for my ratings.
So the question is going to be the person that he's saying. And notice, we don't know who is saying this. We don't know where they are. We don't know anything. He's just telling us stuff he's very emotional about.
Mm-hmm.
But the people who are going to be saying that they're speaking Hebrew, whoever that is going to have to know Hebrew.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to understand Hebrew because
he had a book or something. I think he quoted me that book from 1800 or something.
Right, so we're going to see if they know Hebrew, and then so Presser John. There's these legends about Presser John, this kingdom that was somewhere, maybe in India, for example, that was like this kind of unconquered kingdom with riches and all this kind of stuff, and a lot of Europeans were looking for that. And if you read the legends about these people, it's pretty bizarre. We're talking about Europeans would report things like there was reports of people who had, I know it sounds weird, but eyeballs on their shoulders and strange animals and all this kind of stuff. Clearly legendary stuff in relationship to Presser John and his subjects and whatnot. But the point is, he said, well, tell me why Christopher Columbus was coming here looking for this Israelite king who, I don't know if he knew his name. He didn't say it, but you notice I knew the name there. So, but Christopher Columbus didn't think he was coming to the United States of America. So it doesn't make sense what he's trying to say, because that would not prove the point, because Christopher Columbus was trying to go to India. That's why he called them Indians, because it's like, okay, we're in India. It was later on they realized, oh, that's not where we're not in India. We're in some other new place. And so him saying that doesn't make sense, because that would show that Columbus thought Presser John would have been in the vicinity of India, not a place he wasn't looking for. So that point didn't make any sense. Where'd G-Con go? So we got some serious issues, but it's also like trying to ask him, why does he think this is important? What exactly does it relate to?
Oh, and critic, thank you for waiting so patiently, brother. We'll get you on as soon as we're done with this lively gentleman here. So thank you.
Maybe we could just let him call back, because we're looking at a projector. Yeah. Okay. I think he's in his garage. I think we're looking at his garage opener or something.
Okay, well, here, we'll just do this. Hey, critic.
What's going on, my brother?
Hey, bro, I'll just mute Alahoff till he gets back, and we'll let you talk for a bit.
And keep him muted. That cat is wild.
I hope he didn't go to silence that woman in the background.
Man,
permanently or something.
I'm a little worried there's domestic abuse occurring right now.
You see that crazy look he gave? He was looking off to the right all of a sudden. He's like, hold on a sec.
What's going on there, Vocab?
Hey,
what happened to G-Con, man? I wanted to say hi to G-Con. Last time I saw G-Con, we supposed to have a debate.
Well, he'll probably be right back. He's probably just draining the bladder like I got to do. So I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. Great. Well, I guess I can wait till they get back, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I'm here.
But anyway, I always, give you a scripture. You might already know them, but just to always speak to those Hebrew Israelites, because you deal with them more than I do. And this is 1 Thessalonians chapter 2. And when Paul was talking about I'm going to go down to verse 15. He says, who killed, speaking of the Jews, who killed both the Lord Jesus and their own prophets, and have persecuted us, and they do not please God, and are contrary to all men, forbidding us to speak to the Gentiles, that they may be saved. Because they always saying, those are Israelite Gentiles, and they're trying to reach them. So here Paul is saying that that the Jews were forbidding them to speak to the Gentiles that they might be saved. So as always, to fill up the measure of their sins, but wrath has come upon them to the uttermost. That's 1 Thessalonians chapter 2. You can start at verse 14 through 16. And so that they're saying that, these are Israelite Christians. Israelite Christians, but Israelite Gentiles, and they're trying to reach him. So if you're trying to reach him, how come Paul was being persecuted for trying to speak to the Gentiles? Who it's just their doctrine is so all jacked up.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great verse. That's a great verse. I think it's a fantastic verse. I think your point stands 100%. You know what I mean? That's an excellent point.
Yeah. So I when I speak with them, I just, man, these cats are loud. I mean, they're angry. I mean, I understand why some of it is, but at the same time, if you open the book and you look across it, as an investigative journalist, they go out and their mission is to seek out the truth, no matter what. They look for the truth. So what they do is, it's like they look for a pattern. You ever seen Pattern of Evidence?
Oh, that's a great documentary right there. Yeah.
Man, the one he did with the Exodus, man, that was beautiful. And what it showed me when I went back and looked, how he showed that Tutmos the third, I believe, was the Pharaoh at the time of the Exodus. Mm-hmm. And so
that would change the date, of the common dating. But I think it's more accurate.
Yes, and what I did was go back and look at the Pharaoh that was in it. It was Tutmos the third, and he had a son, a firstborn son, who died. I was like, man, that was very interesting.
The context makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I thought his stuff on the early Phoenician and Paleo Hebrew. I thought that was interesting too. He tied that in as well. It was pretty good. I think you can still watch that on
you still
Prime
can,
or one of those.
Yeah, I saw it on this. Oh man, Lord, it slipped my mind that fast.
Critic, I want to say our well-mannered Hebrew friends, aren't you, Critic? We like having you on the show.
You'll always let your speech be seasoned with salt, and so you want to send grace out to the hearers.
I got hope for you yet, Critic.
But one of the things that I tell people, let's say the doctrine of the Trinity. I know this is not a Trinitarian thing, but what I tell them is to, you draw a box, and inside that box, you can only put the things that are in the Bible that describes God. So for instance, I say God is triune. That stays on the outside of the box because that's not in the Bible. So if I say, well, God is one in three persons, outside of the box. So if God is co-equal, co-eternal, outside of the box. Well, I say God is loving. Oh, that's inside the box. God is all alone. That's inside the box because Hezekiah, the Lord, when he says, "Oh God of Israel, the one who dwells between the cherubim, you alone is God." So that would be inside the box. And so what I think a lot of things happening is people are bringing the stuff from the outside and putting it inside the box and mixing everything up. It's just like that pattern of evidence. And if you go into the Bible and you say, well, if I go to Jeremiah chapter 30, now I'm gonna bring this back to the Israelites. Jeremiah chapter 30, I believe is a verse. It was the time of Jacob's trouble. So chapter 30, verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it as at the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, says the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from your neck and and will burst your bonds. Foreigners shall no more enslave them. Now, this is also on the day of the Lord. So one of the patterns of evidence when you go back and look is slavery. So if we go to Genesis chapter 12 and we see Abraham, and then Abraham starts what is called a generational paradigm. And I think I've mentioned this last time we last speak. But so what he's saying as far as the evidence is what I'm saying, actually, I'm sorry. And when you go to Daniel chapter 2 and you look at Nebuchadnezzar's statue and the head of gold, of course, the Babylon, all the way down to the feet. So what all they have in common as a pattern of evidence is that the Israelites went into captivity in every last single one of those nations. And so when you put the United States of America down where it's supposed to be and where it goes at the feet, because will be the last dominating nation. So God has a pattern of putting his people, the Israelites, into slavery, into the most dominant nation at that time. So what is the most dominant nation in our time? America. Did they have slaves? Yes, they did. Well, who did they enslave? Now, according to this book, they were Jews. So one of the things I'd like to say, looking at is like that pattern of evidence, trace it, and you'll see that just like, for instance, the Holocaust. Hey Nick, could you do me a quick favor? Oh, the Ashkenazi Jews.
Could I ask you something about what you just said? Which is, but at the time, the United States of America was not the most powerful nation on earth. That wasn't until really after World War II that we emerged as the sole remaining superpower. So when the transatlantic slave trade begins, the United States is actually not even a country yet, and we are definitely not the most powerful nation until really the 20th century. So you're saying puts them in there at the time, but that pattern actually wouldn't work with the United States. We weren't the most powerful nation.
It would work because when you look at when he returns, the most dominant nation will be in power at his coming. Right now, who is that? The U.S., right?
So, that's what you're saying. So, but see, you're saying puts them in there at the time because if you look, Babylon at the time was the most powerful nation, and then they got, they had exile. Assyria before them. You see what I'm saying? This was at the time they got them. Right. The United States wasn't even a nation at that time. So it would have to be Britain at the time of the transatlantic slave trade. It'd have to be Britain for this to work.
He has declared the end from the beginning. This is how that's Isaiah 46:6.
Hey, I agree.
He declared the end from the beginning. So now what he has given account, because in Deuteronomy 31:16, he tells Moses that Moses is going to go sleep with his fathers and they'll go and play the harlot and break his covenant. So now, once they broke, he said it before he even took them into the land that they was going to break it. So what he has done, he has given account for every single dominant nation to enslave his people. Ending, the last one is the U.S.
Right. Now, I think you have to assume that because
it's not an assumption.
Right. Reason why I'm saying it is because you're saying basically that America is the last kingdom.
Yes.
Till Christ come back, basically.
Yes.
Israel. And then the reason why I say you would have to assume that is because the Bible don't teach that. Like at all. Like, can you show me where does it say that at?
It won't say America, but Revelation 17:18, of course. Isaiah 47 as well.
Right. So what does Revelation 17:18 actually say?
Revelation 17:18 talks about I guess I got this Bible right in front of me. Revelation 17:14 says this. It says, "And the woman whom you saw is that great city which reigns over the kings of the earth." That would be the U.S. to this day.
Right. So I like there's something wrong with that because it says great city. It doesn't.
All right.
Not a city.
Now I want to explain this to you. John Winthrop came here. He described this nation as being a city set on a hill. He was using Matthew 5. All through the line, you go to Ronald Reagan, even JFK. They talked about America as being a beacon, that shining city which sits on a hill. So what they're using is the terminology that America is already saying about itself. Even Barack Obama talked about that city. If you search, if you like do a search for it, and you would see that they was talking about America being that city that sits on a hill.
That is definitely what you're saying there is exactly correct, especially within the Pilgrim and Puritan tradition, especially. They sort of viewed this as a new start where Christ's kingdom could reign and to become a great center of like missionary activity and things like that. That is true. A lot of they use very covenantal language because the Puritans thought that way and those who came after them. But see, America as a whole thinking that as time goes on, that's a different issue. But I would agree with that. But that doesn't mean that they're the fourth kingdom. I mean, that seems almost inexplicably to be Rome.
The fourth kingdom is Rome. I'm talking about America only is in Daniel at the feet. The feet mixed with clay. The divided kingdom. America is a divided kingdom. It's a divided nation. Everybody knows this. It's that city that reigns over the kings of the earth. Now, this is Bible terminology. So what I was saying is even if you do the research on America, and you will see, of course, I was angry with my people. I profaned my inheritance, giving them into your hand, Isaiah 47:6. But what I was saying is that, Nick, could you bring up that Ashkenazi Jews? It's from Wikipedia. And okay. And so that slavery what he was using. So where in history did these people go into slavery? Where did they, even from the in 70 AD, if you want to say that was them, why would they run up into Europe? The same place that was coming was the oppression was coming on from the top.
Right.
Okay, now go down to
well, Josephus talks about Jews going into bondage, right?
Yeah, he does. Josephus mentions it like right around the same time as.
Well, I'm talking about. Well, go down to your etymology. I think sometimes I get that word kind of jacked up.
Eschatology? Are you talking about eschatology?
No. Well, on here, because I showed him last time that lady. I don't think I got a chance to show him this.
Oh, etymology. Okay.
Yeah. Now it says the name Ashkenazi derives from the biblical figure of Ashkenaz, the first son of Gomer, son of Japheth, son of Noah. Now, why are these? Who's doing this? Who's misleading us out here?
Right. So the thing I would say to that is that you have what you call Elamite Jews or Parthian Jews or the Babylonian Jews. And so why is it that when you get to the Ashkenazi Jews that there's a problem when it's basically just saying this is where the Jews actually dwelt at in Ashkenaz?
I don't have a problem with it, my brother. My problem is that Ashkenaz is a descendant of Japheth. No Jew.
Elam is a descendant of Eber, right?
Then if Elam, you say Elam?
Yeah, ain't he? What is that? What is he's a descendant of? What's the Shem? Shem. I'm sorry, he's a descendant of Shem, right?
Yes, Heber. Yeah.
So why is it that you focus so much on someone saying that they're Ashkenazi Jew, and you say, well, Ashkenaz is the son of Japheth, so therefore he is the Ashkenaz is talking about Ashkenaz as the son, and so these people are Ashkenaz, but you don't have that problem when you start looking at second.
How do you know I don't have that problem? I've never said anything. Well, you just insinuating right now, my brother.
Okay, so what about when you get to Acts chapter 2 and 3 when it talks about that the Jews that were in the, different parts of the world of the other people who sons of Shem?
Yes. Now, what I'm saying, okay, G-Con, what does that say? What does that etymology say? Why is they showing us that Ashkenaz is a son of Japheth?
I just answered your question.
No, you didn't.
When you read, listen. Tell me
what that's showing there.
Hold on, listen. When you read Acts, right? When you read Acts,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You have Jews of Elam, Parthian Jews. You have all types of Jews. So why can't you have an Ashkenazi Jew?
Let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this, G-Con. Did Abraham come from the lineage of Japheth or Shem?
He came from Shem.
All right. Then no Ashkenazi Jew, according to this etymology, can be
but you're not listening.
A Jew. Only thing they can be is a converted Jew.
Listen. Etymology doesn't determine genealogy.
Right.
That's speaking of which. You're mixing and matching there.
Right. And you're not listening. You not mixing and matching. Mizraim Jews. These Jews are not actually their ethnicity is not actually, their genealogy is not actually from Egypt, but they are Mizraim Jews. Why do they call them Mizraim Jews? Why? Because they in Mizraim.
Good point. It's the same thing with Sephardic Jews.
Right.
But none of them are Jews.
And you know what Sephardic Jews speak? They speak Ladino.
None of them are Jews, is what I'm saying. I'm consistent with this.
That's why I'm asking you this. In Acts, there's many Jews is there. You have Parthian Jews, you have Elamite Jews, and these are all sons of Shem. The Elamites are sons of Shem. Why is you get to the Ashkenazi, which is the son of Japheth, did you have a problem with that?
Because he's a son of Japheth, G-Con.
Well,
son of Japheth can be a Jew.
Elamite,
it's not physically possible.
Elam is a son of Shem, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, are there Elamite Jews?
Listen what I'm saying. You have to be a descendant. Matter of fact, let's go straight down to Israel. You have to, or Jacob, whatever you want to call him. You have to be a descendant of Jacob to be an Israelite.
I understand that, but listen, you just because you called by the native of the land, or you speak native,
you ain't They're not Jews by nature, as Paul would say, by nature. Because they're not descendant from Jacob. These are descendants from Japheth, man. Japheth and Shem are brothers.
We understand all that. People. I guess I'm trying to understand how you think you know this.
I'm looking at by what I'm reading from this book that is in front of me, as well. That's why I asked him to bring this up.
What book? This has to do with the etymology of the term Ashkenaz.
Oh, the Bible. What verse?
It'll be in Genesis 10. It will be the same. What I'm asking is, they're saying on this Wikipedia page that Ashkenazi, these are the same ones within the Holocaust, which is by the way not in Scripture. The Holocaust is nowhere in there, but it says they were chosen people. But it says here that they are from the lineage of Japheth.
But you know what also says in the Scripture?
It does not. It actually doesn't say that.
Okay, vocab.
No. Let's read what's on the screen. Now, this is sad that we're looking at etymology of a word to try to determine genealogy, but I'm gonna actually read what's on the screen because I don't think I've really said much. The name. All right. Ashkenazi derives from. So now we're going to find out what the name Ashkenazi derives from. That's all we're talking about right now.
All right.
From the biblical figure of Ashkenaz. Now we're going to find out who Ashkenaz was. The first son of Gomer. Hold on. No. Please go back. Go back.
But if you click on it,
there it is right there. They had it on that same page.
The first son of Gomer, son of Japheth, son of Noah, and a Japhetic patriarch in the Table of Nations. The name of Gomer has often been linked to Edom. Are you reading this? This has to do with the name Ashkenaz,
yes,
as well as who Ashkenaz was. And has nothing to do, bro. It has nothing to do with Ashkenazi Jews who weren't in existence until about 1000 AD. And the reason they were called that is because the land they lived in had been associated with Ashkenaz, which was Germany. It has nothing to do with it. It's kind of like when you say American black folks or Italian American, where it doesn't have anything to do with Amerigo Vespucci. That you don't determine someone's genetics by etymology. This is really
that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is showing you.
So here's what I'm saying. What in the world does the name Ashkenaz have to do with any Jewish person in the world as far as their genetics go?
This is where they say they come from.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Brother,
no,
I've read things.
No, you have not.
So this is a lie. What I'm reading right now.
Well, was Paul?
No, you don't. No. Hold on. Let me say. You're not understanding what you're reading because this has nothing to do with their. Brother. This has nothing to do with their lineage critic. This has to do with the name Ashkenaz.
I have an IQ of 169. I understand what.
Congratulations. Do you understand? Just because you're named according to a geographical location, it does not determine your phenotype or lineage. Do you understand that?
Let me ask you this, my brother.
No. Answer the question. Do you understand that?
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying.
If someone says to you, African American, I know you would contend with that. Does that mean you're Italian? Amerigo Vespucci, right? No, that's what America's from.
What that is oh man, the brother's back.
But does that mean you're Italian because someone called you American? Does that make you an Italian?
Now, back to the DNA thing. Before I go.
Oh, you're Hebrew hopscotch.
I said no.
Right. So this
what
article,
part of that you don't hear me?
Okay, excellent. So the thing is, that means what you're reading about the origin of the word Ashkenaz has nothing to do with anyone who got that name on them. It has nothing to do with it.
All right. Now, could you tell me when they go into slavery into the United States?
Was Paul a Roman?
Wait, what?
Roman citizen, yes.
Who goes into slavery in the United States?
The Ashkenazi Jews.
They never did, but that's not a requirement for prophecy.
Well, that's Isaiah 47:6. It's because I understand the Bible prophecy.
The United States is not mentioned in the Bible.
Let me ask you a question. You're a Trinitarian?
This is crazy talk.
You're a Trinitarian?
Wait, why are you
do you believe in the Trinity? I'm showing you something. Do you believe in the Trinity?
Oh, dear Lord, I hope you're not going to do this.
I'm just asking. Asking for a friend.
No, this thing is.
What I'm saying is this. Remember when I showed you the box?
Basic. The question is the concept there, okay? And so
we're talking about that box.
Can you mute him until we're done with this guy?
Okay, just 1 second, okay? Just give me a couple minutes and then we'll let you.
I just want to ask him one question. It's pertaining to the conversation.
Please, just wait until.
I just want to ask Vocab one question pertaining to the conversation they're having.
Okay, ask you a quick question and then we'll mute you first. Actually,
all right. Okay. Hey, Vocab. If Ashkenaz is talking about a geographical location and not a lineage, show it to me on the map.
Okay, and then we'll meet you for a couple minutes.
You could do that if you go to.
No, don't could do it. Do it.
If you
show it to me on the.
I muted him. I muted you for a couple minutes, and he'll answer you, and then we'll come back.
You just got to go to. You got to go to a map of the day, right? You have to go to if a Jew was describing that area of Germany in the Middle Ages. This guy. Hey, you should put this guy in the screen and have everyone else not be on there. This guy is.
See, you're overlooking the pattern of evidence.
You act like for the Middle Ages don't exist.
Okay, let's do this.
For the Middle Ages, it shows Ashkenaz on the map. If it's a geographical location, show it to us.
Hey, hold on, real quick. Before I do that, I want to let y'all know that I'm gonna go and take off here. Hopefully,
G-Con, you're gonna leave me with this crazy guy?
I gotta take off, y'all. But I gotta get ready to lay it down. But I appreciate you having me out. Anytime you guys want me to come out or you guys want to come on my show, just let me know.
Yeah, bro, I'd love to. You can see my email.
I want to come on there, G-Con.
Okay, Chris, I got you.
Take my email on the screen there, G-Con, and then shoot me an email so I have a contact for you.
All right, cool. So I'm definitely going to do that right now. And then I appreciate you having me out. I appreciate you, Vocab, and also the other brothers on here. Thanks once again. And I'll talk to you guys in a bit here.
Yeah, anytime, bro. You're welcome back anytime.
Likewise.
What I was going into was the fact that what people do is they think outside the box. That's all I was asking. Asking you, do you believe in the Trinity? You would say yes, probably. But so
waiting on that map.
In other words, you're outside the box. You think you're hearing all the outside noise, but you don't pay attention to what's inside the box, as all Trinitarians do. They don't pay attention to what's inside this book. Just like you're doing with the Hebrews, you're not paying attention what's inside the scripture. So when you're going all outside, and they come from Germany, they're Europeans.
All right, can I talk to our friend here for a second? Hey, so if I show you on a map,
show me the map.
Hold on, I want to ask. I'm asking you a question. If I show you the map,
man.
If I show you a map, are you going to shut up?
Show me the map.
No. What are you going to do if I show you a map?
Just show the map.
What are you going to do if I show you a map? Will you be quiet? Can we make this a deal? If I show him the map, he has to be muted the rest of the show?
Sure.
Hey.
All right.
You better mute me. You better.
All right, here.
Pretend drive for Israel.
That's right. Because I'm coming. And you're going to have to answer.
I don't want to mute you.
What do you mean?
You're better.
I don't want to mute you, bro. I like talking to you. It's funny.
Okay, are you ready?
You better mute me.
All right.
I'm about to expose you.
Okay, can you? Is my map showing?
Okay, hold on. Let me share the screen here. There's your map.
All right. Now you see. Let's go down. If you see where it says B and where it says 30 on the very top of the map. So everyone, please look on the top of the map. Make it bigger. Make it as big as you can, if you can. You know, I can't. I don't know how big it's gonna. Okay. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Yeah, you can zoom in. Yeah.
Okay. Now you see here where it says B and 30 on the top of the map.
Yeah.
Now, I wish I had a cursor or something. Now let's go directly down. Keep your line of sight directly down. And if you look, you see the Black Sea. Does everybody see that?
Yeah.
Now, what I want you to do is, especially you, Alawaf, look directly below the Black Sea and tell me what you see on that map.
Oh.
What do I see?
What does it say?
What does it say?
It says Ashkenaz.
Does it?
It's Ashkenaz right there.
It does. Right above where it says Phaeagrans and beside Gomer and Riptha.
Now, where are they located?
This map is from 1854. The map is from 1854, and I'll send you the JPEG link to it right now. Okay, and then you can go back to yelling like a crazy person because you have been totally embarrassed and rebuked and utterly refuted and destroyed. And I hope you have a great night. But hold on, let's let him get his last thing out. What else would you like to say there, pal?
Hey, Vocab. So that land wasn't named after the people?
What?
Was the land named after the people?
Was the land named after the people?
Yeah, or was the people named after the land?
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
I know, because you're stupid.
Okay, now
here's what's interesting. Why is it called Ashkenaz? Because the people are from the descendants of Ashkenaz?
Why did you tell me I wouldn't be able to show you Ashkenaz on a map?
I asked you to show it to us on the map.
And what happened? Did I show it to you on a map?
Hey. I'm about to get into this book.
Did I show it to you on a map?
Hey,
did I show it to you on a map? Yes or no?
Let's get into the religious observations of the Indians, okay?
You're just gonna change the topic?
Hey, we're gonna get into the religious observations of these Indians.
Okay, right? So we're gonna switch because you've been embarrassed. Right. Is that what's going on?
No, not at all. Not at all. Because you're gonna have to explain why these Indians over here were keeping Hebrew customs and speaking Hebrew.
According to who?
Pre-contact.
According to who?
Oh, to a whole bunch of people. Let's go.
Like who? Can you name who's the person who? Alawaf.
Edwards, Gumilla. I can go down here. All the way down here.
Who's Edward Miller?
And let's keep going. Let's find some more names. Mendoza.
Who's Mendoza? What did he do?
Mendoza.
Are you calling your dog?
Gomorrah.
Who's Gomorrah?
Oh, man.
Listen, if you didn't yell so much, you wouldn't have to be in the garage.
Let's see.
You could be inside the actual house.
Yeah, no, I can't be in there right now. Your wife was mad at me.
Why is she mad at you?
Hey, listen. Watch this.
Why is she mad at you, bro?
The testimony of Herrera, Garcia.
Who's Pereira Garcia, bro?
Torquemada.
Who's Torquemada?
Gomorrah and Martyr are unanimous in establishing that the practices of circumcision among the tribes of the new continent flat out.
All right.
They practiced circumcision when they came over. And hold on. That was 6 different people who all testified that the Indians were practicing circumcision.
All right. So, if you practice, hold on. Can you mute him for a second? Because I need to ask you a question if you can't stop yelling.
Yeah,
Alawaf, if someone practices circumcision, does that show that they're an Israelite? Because I got 2 things for you. Okay. You listening? One is Egyptians, even during those ancient days, practiced a form of circumcision. So the Egyptians did it. They weren't Israelites. They also practiced circumcision. So that doesn't make you an Israelite. It's a horrible argument. Secondly, most Americans right now in America practice circumcision. Are they therefore the sons of Israel? Hold on. Mute for just a little second. I got one more question for him. So if a Martian came and observed the people living in America now, and they use X-ray vision to see their genitals and said, hey, well, the large percentage of these people practice circumcision, therefore they must be Jews. Would that be a valid argument? And lastly, guess who else practiced circumcision during that time, Alawaf? Sephardic and Ashkenazi Jews. So do you understand that this is not a good argument? Practicing circumcision does make you a Jew. Now, let's see. Leave him big on the screen. Let's see what he has to say in response. You're muted.
Where did they get the custom from? Yeah, you better keep muting me, you fucking dog.
You're not muted now.
Let's keep going. I know y'all just gonna keep trying to take over, keep talking over.
No, it's just because we can't hear. It's because
keep going.
It's because we can't hear when you guys are both yelling at the same time. That's the only reason I had to mute.
Edwards observes in the history of the West Indies, the Indians would not eat the Mexican hog or the turtle, but held them in the greatest abhorrence. Neither would they eat the eel nor other animals and birds they deemed impure. Dr. Mather.
Wait.
Dr. Mather, one of the spiritual Israel.
We're gonna have to keep on muting if you can't conversate with me. Alawaf, please, just for a second. Alawaf, I have a question for you. What tribe is being discussed right now? Alawaf, what tribe? This is wild. This is epic, man.
Oh, I know. I love it.
Alawaf,
you're a liar, Vocab.
What tribe is the one who won't eat eel? What tribe is that?
Let's keep talking.
Alawaf, what tribe is the one who won't eat eel? Could you tell me what tribe it is?
What tribe? What you mean as far as who?
Yeah, the tribe that won't eat eel. What Native American tribe is it? Because you don't want to be a racist. You don't want to think that all Native Americans are the same, right? So what tribe is the specific one that doesn't eat eel, Alawaf?
I'm not talking about the natives. I'm talking about the Aborigines, you fucking idiot.
Oh, so the Aborigines are the ones who don't eat eel.
Stupid, man. Listen,
Can I ask you
want to know why one is called native and one is called Aborigine? Because they're different. They got different meanings because they're different people. The Aborigine and the native ain't the same people.
Alawaf, why did you leave? Now I know why my wife is mad at you. I mean, look at you. No wonder.
I wish there was like an automatic bleeping system on here. Every time you score, it'd be like bleep, bleep.
Hey, maybe you should just do him a favor. That way, he don't keep embarrassing himself.
The last question would be: why did we just leave the American continent and go to Australia? I do not know. Although I do like the land down under, mate. All right, well, yeah, let's probably drop him because he's frozen.
He froze. That cat froze.
Okay, and thank you, Lou, for waiting so patiently. You're off there. How you doing, man? Hello.
I'm all right.
Cool.
I'm all right. Yeah. I got a question for Vocab.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got a question about that DNA stuff. You know. All right. You got the Hebrew Israelite. They trace their DNA back to Limba, Igbo, and all them other African tribes that they claim or whatever. You know. But with the Limba tribe, when they trace their DNA, do they trace it going towards Israel? Because what I'm not understanding is if them Hebrew Israelite is tracing their DNA and it leads them to Limba tribe, then what is the Limba tribe tracing their DNA to?
That's a good question.
How is it that when they pull up their DNA, it brings them to the Ethiopians and Limba tribe and all them other African tribes, but when the Limba tribe does it, it leads to somewhere else. So I don't know how that works out.
Well, there's two things about that may help Lou, because those are good questions. One is it's recently come out that a lot of the Hebrew Israelites have been using something called GED match to assert Limba connections. But it's been demonstrated that it's a fraudulent website where you're able to get false positives and essentially manipulate the data. Actually, Garfield Reed, recently, he's of Dagger Squad, not a believer or anything like that, but sometimes he gets into some interesting facts. He showed something, and Zongo Masi deconstructed the process and demonstrated that what people were doing to get a, quote, Limba result was by using certain data. It was like cherry picking and to get false positives. So the thing is, they don't even have the Limba match, first of all. But second of all, you asked an interesting question about where do they trace their DNA back to. Now, the Limba obviously weren't doing genetics sort of on themselves, obviously. Although there does seem to be awareness of who was a descendant of Aaron, because they did have within the Buba clan what appears to be the Cohen modal haplotype that we discussed at the beginning. But they have something orally that is very fascinating. Let me talk about this briefly, because that's a great question. So when Tudor Parfit went there and realized they were onto something, he took a 6-month journey from where they said they went, because what they were saying is that they were from a place called Senna, but no one really knew where it was. So the Limba in their oral traditions had all these kind of detailed legends. They seemed to be more than legend, and it turns out they were more than legend. The oral history had a lot of accuracy to it. So it was so accurate that Tudor Parfit could travel with the Limba backwards on their journey based upon their oral traditions, which is, again, this is utterly fascinating. They could even do this after this amount of time. It's almost unbelievable, but this is really what happened. So they go back, and then they kind of get stuck basically at the crossing of the Red Sea, unsure where the next place is, because no one knows what Senna is. Well, some years later, it gets kind of detailed through various number of connections. Tudor Parfit discovered ancient lost city that is no longer inhabited, that had this name, and it was in Yemen. And so he goes into Yemen, and what he does is he's not able to talk to residents who are actually in the city, because it's essentially abandoned. But he talked to local Bedouins who had passed down oral traditions about what happened with the city, right? And here's what's fascinating. The legend was that their dam broke, and so they had to leave. And the Bedouin said, and we think that they went into Africa. That they went further into Africa. And the other fascinating thing is when Tudor Parfit started asking the Bedouins about the names of the people group, and this is really bizarre, the names that the Bedouins gave for the clans that lived there in this lost city of Senna or whatever were identical to the actual Limba names. So it actually matched up. And again, this is a skeptical scholar, right? And so it basically goes back to Yemen. Now, because of that, and this is kind of controversial, because of that, some scholars do not believe the Limba are actually Hebraic. They think they're Semitic. Now, I am willing to give the benefit of doubt and to say that the Limba are Semitic and Hebraic. Other scholars have sort of an argument, and I think it's a minority position, but it's a viable position, that they're actually descended basically from Arabs rather than Jews, because there is a lot of Islamic and Arab influence, including intermarriage, upon the people of East Africa. That is true. And some of the Islamic customs can look identical to Levitical ones. That's true as well. So some people think the ancestors of Limba were essentially Islamicized and later encouraged into adopting a Hebraic identity by the observations of these European missionaries who came later and attributed them to sort of stereotypical Jewish appearances and customs, because the Limba were a peddler class. And so they actually kind of, there is some truth to that. They had like a stereotype of, oh, they're peddlers, they must be Jewish, right? Now, by saying all that,
he's getting some good workouts there.
I know, right? I know. So by saying that is by saying this, I understand that position. I still hold that it seems that the Limba are legitimate Hebraic, but it is important to understand some scholars say, yes, they're Semitic, but they're not Hebraic. They're Arabic. There is some debate about that amongst them. And so it basically apparently goes back to Yemen, and there are Jewish communities in Yemen that are very, very old. In fact, maybe even some of the oldest. The Yemenite community is a fascinating Jewish community to study. Yeah. So I don't know if that's what you're getting at, but that's my knowledge of it at this time.
Yeah, no, but I understand what you're saying. I watched Two-Day Prophet and all his commentary on that. But my problem is with, all right, is when they taking the DNA for the Limba tribe, like how much is the population for the Limba tribe for all of them to trace back to the Koine DNA?
Yeah,
is it all of them?
No, it's so I don't have all the I don't have everything on methodology, because you're kind of getting the specifics of methodology. I don't have all of that, but I know you can find some of that. My understanding is the primary focus was upon the Buba clan, and that's sort of where it is, because it appears amongst the females, amongst the Limba, and even amongst the Buba clan as well. Females are way, I don't know the exact numbers on this, so I'm still learning as I go. Way less Semitic, and it appears, from what I understand, that they're almost basically all Bantu ethnically. The women now. I'm speaking of the females, almost to a woman. It seems like it's select portions of the Limba, but I don't know how many samples they took. But I know I've heard them talk about that, and I don't know who it all is. But I think the focus of the obvious Semitic aspect is within the Buba clan specifically. But I think they're still doing some research on these folks. So you're asking interesting questions about sort of the direct methodology, and that is important.
I wouldn't mind talking about Al-Haq's book that he keeps flashing on.
Y'all don't want to deal with this information. Y'all just get, is this what is this show on speculation, man? This man just speculated for like 30 minutes, man. Come on, man. Are we here about the information, or are we here about somebody just speaking?
That book that you keep showing, that's all. What's your question before you go, critic?
Well, the same question when I first came in. When Jeremiah 30, when he says, I'm going to read this again, alas, for that day is great. This is Jeremiah 30:7, by the way. For that day is great, meaning he's talking about the day of the Lord. So that none is like it, and it is a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, says the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from your neck and will burst your bonds. Foreigners shall no more enslave them. And it's also verse 9, but they shall serve the Lord their God and David their king. This is talking about when he brings them back into the land of Israel at his return. So my question is that if he has to do bringing back captives, man, I thought they was already in their land. So why does he have to bring them back? That's my question.
Which passage? Sorry, I got
go to Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7 through 9, but I stopped at 8 because it says foreigners shall no more enslave them. And I'm trying to picture where in history have I seen the Ashkenazi Jews in slavery, or the Sephardic Jews, or whatever you call them, Mizrahims, and even the Ethiopian Jews. These are not Jews.
Uh,
But anyway, go
Right.
ahead.
I mean, I kind of, if a Hebrew Israelite doesn't think, Ashkenazi or, not
Well, let's
Jews,
see what the scriptures say. That's why I say there's a pattern inside this book. There's a pattern of evidence.
okay. I think I've already shown, some problems with your methodology there, but check this out. If you're saying there's a pattern there, how many of the slaveries or captivities in the Bible, critic, did the Israelites forget their identity? How many times did that happen?
Now, that didn't actually happen till after the 70.
So see, that's what I'm saying, critic.
See,
You're saying, there's got to be this pattern of evidence, and I've been showing you this pattern of evidence, and yet, in none of these captivities, except for magically this one in the United States, did the Israelites forget their identity. Don't you see how what that shows? No. What that shows is your own thesis militates against your own. Or yes, it clearly does.
Could you explain this then?
The pattern, brother, is that they never forgot who they
verse
were.
8 to me.
But do you understand? The pattern is that they never forgot who they were in any captivity. You're talking about a pattern of evidence. And notice here, you're saying the United States is the one time they just all forgot who they were. But before that, they never did.
I never said anything like that, my brother. Okay, I just said after the 70 AD.
Well, hold on. Did you said there has to be a pattern? Yes or no? Did the enslaved peoples of African descent, who you say are actually not, did they forget who they were?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know until they maybe got beat out of them while they came here in America and Brazil and all those other places.
Did the Israelites get beat in Assyria and Babylon too?
Did they get beat? Yeah, quite sure they did.
Yeah, they definitely did. We
Christ had to come, remember? We have to think about Christ. So they're not going to lose their heritage because Christ is coming.
Okay, but you're claiming that in America they did lose their
heritage. Never said that. I never said that. You put that in my mouth.
So all the Israelites, all the people who were described as African are actually Israelites. They all knew that they were Israelites.
I just asked because you explained Jeremiah chapter 30, verse.
You're missing.
But you're putting words in my mouth, Vocab, and I'm not.
You're missing what I'm showing you. I'm showing you that this thesis you have about Africans enslaved in America is irrelevant to any Jewish captivity because it's not a Jewish captivity. It's an African captivity. And so it has nothing to do with any Jewish captivity. Huh?
What does verse 8 say?
Okay, so now you're not really going to discuss the fact that you don't have the pattern there.
The pattern is simple. They're fulfilling Bible prophecy. This is Genesis chapter 9. This is also Revelation 2:9-3-9. And also Luke chapter 21, verse 24. Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled. And he also told them, you will be taken captive into all nations. Is America a nation?
Oh, yes, America is a
nation. I know you would probably say, oh, at that time. No, remember, God is prophetic. He's prophetic. He knows exactly what's going to happen in the end.
Can I ask you a question?
Who is that?
I'm talking to critic.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Oh, that's Lou, I guess. He's still there.
Yeah. I gotta ask you a question. I don't understand when y'all talking about y'all going back to the land, right? How is that mathematically possible for 6,000 years worth of people to go back to that land?
This happens at his return. So when God appears,
okay. when he returns, he's going to return to Israel, right?
Yes, he's going to be in Jerusalem to put his feet on the Mount of Olives.
Okay, how is it mathematically possible that 6,000 years worth of people is going to be in Israel? How is that mathematically possible?
Well, he's God, my brother. He does.
But God.
I don't understand why people can't say, "Hey, he's God."
No. All right, I understand that, but this God that you're talking about set boundaries on his creations, right?
Are you guys both Hebrews arguing with each other? I don't understand. Lou?
No, I don't think Lou's a Hebrew Israelite, and Lou is asking.
I'm not a Hebrew Israelite either.
Well, you clearly are. All due respect.
No, I'm not.
I appreciate that you're respectful, but obviously you are, and he's proven that because he's saying a very good point. How is it that everyone's there? That's an excellent point, and I don't think you can answer it by just saying he's God because,
this is testing him.
All right, my brother. Joel chapter 3, he says this. Behold, in those days and at that time, when I bring back the captives of Judah and Jerusalem,
And how
I
many
will
captives
also
there at
can I
How many
finish, my brother?
captives?
I will also
I know that verse. I know
Okay.
that verse
So
already.
now, what I'm
He's gonna
telling
bring
you
the
is this.
captives back. And how many captives is that going to be? How many captives coming back?
I have no idea, my brother. Millions.
How is millions of people going to fit in Israel?
That's a God question, my brother.
You know, Israel is about 45 miles wide at its widest.
Like the state of New Jersey,
It's
we
the
know
size
about
of
these
New
things.
Jersey.
Yeah.
It's like you forcing something that God never said. Nowhere in the Bible that God said He's going to take 6,000 years worth of people and bring them back to the land.
No, it does not.
I mean, He's the creator, right? He has boundaries to everything He create, right?
Could you show me the verse that says that? I believe according as it is written.
He set the times and seasons. It's in the whole book of Genesis. He's making a perfectly good point.
No, what he's saying is that this is what I'm getting out of it. I want to make sure I'm right, Lou. Is that you're saying that he's not bringing us back because they are already there? Is that what I'm getting out of it? And that they won't fit if he do?
I don't go by that thing about them being there already. What I do, I read the Bible and trying to, understand it from everybody's point of view. But when it comes to a point of view of people saying, Jesus coming back and He's going to bring back His captives back to the land. Okay,
that's His words.
You have Gentiles and you have Jews. All the Jews going back to the land. And then you got this other stuff where people say the Gentiles are going to be servants in the kingdom. How is all these people going to fit in one temple?
Well, let me ask you this:
hold on. Can you actually just answer his question?
Well,
why are you? I like that you're respectful, but I'm also a little like, why don't you answer? Okay. No, you just said I'm going to ask you a question. Why don't you just answer?
All right. What I'm answering this question with this: the same way you're saying that with us blacks. The same can be said as far as the Ashkenazi, Mizraim, whatever you want to call them, Sephardic Jews. It's a whole million bunch of them too.
Yeah.
Then use that same logic and apply it to them.
No, but we don't interpret that prophecy that way. You're missing it.
I'm not.
We don't interpret the prophecy that way, so we don't have that problem.
Y'all don't understand it. You don't understand the Bible.
Okay, well that's a cop out. But the question, point is, no,
you said I don't understand it, but it wasn't a cop out.
Since we don't interpret it that way, that's not a problem for us. So you can say we don't understand it. That's fine. That's your position. But if we don't interpret it your way, we don't have the problem of putting all those people in the actual land because we don't believe what you believe. So we don't have that problem because we don't interpret that way.
So when he says he's going to bring back the captives, who's he talking about?
Okay, so you can't answer the question because you're telling us we have the problem. I tell you we don't interpret that way, so we don't have the problem. You say we don't understand it.
To answer your question, my brother Lou, he's God Almighty. Listen, he can do it.
Okay. Even do you believe when they go back to the land, they're going to do sacrifices again?
No. All that's over with.
All that sacrifice is over with?
Yes.
Okay. What's the point of them going back to the land?
That's a God question that he... I'm not going to cap out. He gave that promise to Abraham, all right? So Abraham's descendants will inherit the land. That was a promise. And the big thing about all this, when you read Revelation chapter 21, is how he is going to dwell in Israel. He will put his tabernacle right there in Jerusalem.
Is he going to be in his glory form?
Yes, he's going to be in spiritual form. Okay,
so how is Gentiles being servants is going to be able to go to Israel if Jesus in his glorious form? Ain't nowhere in the Bible where somebody actually stood up.
You're thinking I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I'm not. I don't believe that crap. The only thing I know is that we're Israel.
You're Israel.
I don't believe that.
Think you're Israel?
White people being slaves. No, everybody get a chance at salvation.
Well, okay. When you talking about white people, what's wrong? What's wrong with white people?
Nothing. Didn't you just not hear me? There's nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong with black people either.
Doesn't hold that.
Sin is a problem.
He's trying to say that some of the stuff you're attributing to him, he doesn't hold to. That's what he's saying. He's saying
the only one.
He doesn't believe that.
Just that one, and that's
Do you even have an order of how prophecy is going to happen? What's the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth order?
Okay.
What's the first order?
The first thing is going to happen is this: the Antichrist is everybody's waiting on him. Once that happens, then you're going to have the Great Tribulation. After the Great Tribulation, Christ returns. Christ destroys the Antichrist and the false prophet, throws them into the lake of fire. That's Revelation 19, by the way.
Yeah. Wait
so
a minute.
Then there's 1,000-year millennium reign. Then after the 1,000, then after the 1,000 years, Gog and Magog, Satan going to be re-loose, and he's going to go out. That's Revelation 20.
Hold on. All right. Here's the problem with that. You just said he's going to come back and destroy whatever, and then there's going to be a millennium reign. So you're trying to tell me he's not going to destroy Magog and Gog until after the millennium?
Listen to what I said. I said he's going to destroy the reign of the Antichrist and the false prophet.
That's only two people he's going to destroy when he comes back.
Well, I'm quite sure it's going to be more than that. Because the blood comes up to the horse's bridle. That's Revelation 19. Go to Revelation 19.
So when everybody sees that Jesus Christ is going to destroy all these people, you're trying to tell me he's going to be on earth for 1,000 years and people still not going to fear after what he did to the Antichrist and the false prophet?
No, I'm not telling you none of that. The reign will be in heaven. No, I didn't just say nothing. You're insinuating, my brother. That's what you're doing.
You just said he's going to destroy the Antichrist and the false prophet and whoever. Right. And then he's going to have a millennium reign, right? And then after that, he's going to destroy Magog and Gog.
I said Satan will be released from the bottomless pit after that. My brother, go to Genesis Revelation, read from Revelation 19 through 21. That will give you all the answers you're seeking.
Well, then, I don't look at Revelation the same way you look at it. Because I mean, and hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't it say, doesn't the book of Revelation speaks about 3 destructions, right?
You say who?
Doesn't the book of Revelation speaks about 3 destructions, right?
3 destructions?
Yeah. About the city of Babylon going to be destroyed, right?
Yes. That's America.
America going to be destroyed.
Yes.
That's the first destruction. Then you talk about this Antichrist and false prophet. All of them going to be thrown in a lake of fire, right?
Yep.
And then after 1,000 years, Satan is going to come back.
Yeah, he'll be released from the bottomless pit. Yes.
He's going to be released from the bottomless pit. And then who's Magog and Gog?
Those are nations.
What nations?
That I can't tell you.
So I don't understand.
Well, I feel like we're.
But some people think it's Turkey and Russia.
We're just off into eschatology now. I'm not really sure what, and people and Christians, there's different views on this, even amongst Christians. So
yeah.
I'm getting the truth from me, my brother.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just that for me, if you're gonna have a belief in something, I mean, you have to have some type of explanation about what you're talking about. You know what I mean? To make it it's like as if you're just telling me this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. When I'm questioning him about it, it's like he's just telling me that God has the answer.
Well, let me ask you. Can I ask you a question again, my brother? Are you saved?
Yeah.
Are you are you in Christ?
Yeah, I'm saved, man. I mean, I believe
you in Christ Jesus. You've been baptized in the name of Jesus for the remission of sins.
Yeah.
All right, good job. Yeah, you're good peoples. That's what counts. All right. Everything else will take care of itself.
Cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
You feel me? Well, you fellas has been nice, man. I'll probably be seeing y'all again sometime.
Okay,
God bless.
For sure.
Critic, real quick, I want to give him
yes, sir.
Hey, man, thanks for just being such a cool, calm, down to earth guy. Appreciate it, man. You got a real good, chill vibe, and I appreciate that. So thank you.
Praise the Lord, my brother. Always let your speech be seasoned with grace.
Well, I think you do a pretty good job at that. I think maybe I could learn something from you. So keep it up, man.
Hey, yeah, for sure, my brother. My brother Nick, you take it easy there.
Yeah, man. I'll have you.
When you gonna set up that Trinitarian debate with me and Joe?
Is that? I'll set that up. I'll talk to Joe about it right away.
I'm gonna talk about what's inside the box.
Okay, bro. I'll set that up for sure, man.
All right, my brother. Y'all fellas be good. God bless.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
He's He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's cool. I have him on the show quite a bit because he's chill and he can keep his calm and like he's good to talk to for sure.
I wonder if if you think that could be enough for now. Do you think we covered a lot of the stuff we need?
Sure, man. If you want to go, that's fine. Yeah, it's been almost 3 hours, so yeah, we can shut it down for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of great people in the live chat. Shout out to Misty Richards. Of course, shout out to my man Alejandro. How you doing, bro? I don't know who else came through from my side of things, but you guys, if you're interested in hearing these kinds of things, I do live streams as well. Please subscribe.
Subscribe to Vocab for sure. I put a link in the description, guys.
Yeah,
I put a link in the description. Check out his channel for sure. I put a link to GCon too. So
awesome. And shout out to Reggie Noble, aka Redman's, in the live chat. And
hey, look, there's my stalker.
Who you got, stalker?
Look at his name. Truth About Nick. He made his name like about me.
Is it that guy that tells everyone they can be sinless?
That's funny, dude. You're like the 5th person that said that thinks that's Perry.
Oh, it's a different guy?
Apparently it is.
Oh, well, hopefully it's not him because he's not being very sinless right now.
No. Did you see that video that he made about you?
I watched some of it.
Yeah, some of it. I know. That's funny.
It's just kind of like, I guess I'm kind of like, okay, whatever.
He keeps trying to get me to get a hold of you. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I don't think
if he thinks like I don't have to sin anymore or whatever, like if I'm wrong about that, am I sinning?
His belief is he can do anything that he wants, and it's not a sin for him, just because he does it in full faith. Like he teaches people to masturbate in full faith and go out and murder in full faith, and like it's not a sin. Yeah.
Oh, so he's an antinomian. He's not a perfectionist.
I guess I
think I misunderstood. So, and Nick, a perfectionist is it's a stream of Wesleyan thought that certain kind of radical Arminians have embraced. That essentially we can obtain a certain form of perfection within this life before we die and go to heaven, almost like a pre-mortal, like before you die. Glorific stage of glorification almost, but sometimes they'll call it full perfectionism. And it doesn't take seriously enough the problem of sin. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's not based upon a biblical anthropology. It's almost based upon true Pelagianism. But it sounds like what you're saying is this guy's an antinomian, and that means someone who's lawless. So it means they have no view of God's holiness or righteousness. They don't think there's anything they can't do. They're essentially like libertines. Yeah, like an antinomian.
That's exactly what he believes. But he also believes he's perfect too.
So he's an old time heresy. He's in an old time heresy there. I wonder if he's almost got Gnostic tendencies because some of the Gnostics were that way. It'd be interesting to see, but at the same time, it just kind of seems like he's got an axe to grind, and I just hope it works out for him. But
yeah, for sure. If you ever wanted to talk to him, I would set that up, but I don't know if you would. Because
I don't know if that'd be that beneficial.
I don't know, bro. He's called you out a few times, but I don't even know if it's worth it for you, to tell you the truth. I think
I'll just let him keep on calling me out.
Okay.
I'm interested in this Alawaf character. What is that?
That's what I was trying to talk about with him. He kept holding up that book. It was like from the 1800s. He linked it to me on Amazon. It was like his go-to proof. It's called The 10 Lost Tribes of Israel, written by here, I'll bring it up.
That was the main one he was trying to bring up for you?
Yeah, that was he kept flashing it on the screen.
I don't have to see who the author is because there's a whole bunch of stuff called.
Yeah, it's by Barbara Ann Simmons.
Oh, that's the book he was holding up?
Yeah, Barbara Ann Simmons, 10 Lost Tribes, and it's like something to do with Mexico and stuff. It's like rewritten by her, but it was like originally written in the 1830s or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fascinating. It looks
Thank you very much, Lisa J, for the super chat. She said
okay. The 10 tribes of Israel historically identified with the Aborigines of the Western Hemisphere. Barbara A. Simon. Also, when he was talking about Aborigines, he was not talking. Okay. See, he never explained himself. Okay.
Yeah. That's what his whole thing was. That's his proof. And
man, these guys have so many of these old random books that they think prove stuff. It's like,
that's what I said to him. I'm like, dude, why don't you quote me something that's not from like the 19th century? You know what I mean? Like everything he was sending me was from like 1840, 1830.
Fascinating. Wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to take a look at it. Yeah, that guy was quite a character, I must say.
We should try and get him to come back on sometime, eh?
And I'm hoping he worked it out with my wife. I hope he patched things up. You know, she was mad at him.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I could see, you know, she was probably upset because the way, you know, he's yelling and talking and stuff like that. He's in the garage creating a commotion.
Yeah.
So hopefully they could patch it up and work it out. You know, that was a tough fight there.
I kind of like that guy, to tell you the truth. He cracks me up. Alawaf.
Yeah, he's not going to get very far, but yeah, he anyways. Oh, there he is.
The Indians' great beloved man or high priest addresses the warriors and women, giving all the particular positive injunctions and negative precepts.
Brother, what in the world are you copying and pasting from? I can tell you he's a one Wester though, because his name's Yasharallah.
Yeah,
that Yasharallah nonsense is Lashawan Kodash. So he's been influenced by One West. It's probably why he acts that way. Okay. And that's also, they're the ones who cape that Native Americans are Hebrew Israelites.
Okay.
Because if he's of a certain vibe, he's been influenced by One West, but he's probably a lone One Wester camper. It doesn't look like he's probably a camp member if I had to guess. But let's pray for that man. He's clearly angry. It's a very sensitive, emotional issue for him. Clearly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Let's pray for him.
But all right, man. Appreciate it, Nick. Keep on doing what you're doing, bro, and hopefully your stalkers don't get you down.